plugged in, which is not your favorite way to be, I know. Anything but that. No, don't plug in. Okay, here we are. So, my back really hurts. The rain is nice, eh? Now, is it more economically time-wise to go slowly and not get any stick stems in there? How much time does it take to pick them out? Like, if I'm going to leave that one in, it's going to take me that much time later to pick it out. But it actually got off. It broke off. I like to make the most of my time. You only get a certain amount of time. And there's so many things I'd like to do. But only when I have energy. When I don't have any energy, I don't want to do anything. But the best way to have energy is a new idea. So if you have new energy, pick up one of those books. My aunt had not so many, not like my parents. My parents were university people and everything's in books. And so I grew up like that. And I think my dad's sister, her world was also full of books that don't get you anywhere. You can spend a lot of time reading a book that it entertains you for a few minutes. But, maybe that's good. Maybe that's fine. But there's books that give you knowledge and time, and they know what going through stuff is like. They've been through stuff, the same stuff you've been through. I mean, they look so different. They don't dress that way. They don't act that way. How could they possibly have gone through the same stuff? Because it's made you who you are, and you're kidding. You missed that. I was just telling you about how wise old people are, and that if you can possibly spend some time with them, you should, and ask them questions. They probably know a lot of stuff. Old people have been through it. You think that the stuff you're going through, that old people would never have gone through that, but we all went through every age. Every single age. There's not one we skipped. We were every age, and we were much like you. This works better when they're splitting open. I don't want to get my fingers all mushy, and I don't want I think they might not break open either when I'm doing it this way. If they're too ripe, But and they might, they take stems off with them though. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm not sure how to do it so that I don't break any stems. You see, but an old person that has done this forever, if I were sitting and talking to her, she'd be able to tell me how to do it. Like my grandmother or something. Not my grandmother, but like what they're supposed to have been like. See how dark this one is? You shouldn't eat too many raw. I think. That's what I've been told, that you could get a bad stomach ache. I'm not sure. I think that's what happened to Mary. I think she got a bad stomach ache from this. Back when I was a little girl, we didn't have elderberries in Georgia. I never heard of them till I came to Canada. I was 21 when I came. I came driving my car. I went to the border and I asked if I could come in. And they said yes. And they let me in. I don't think I had a birth certificate at the time. I think I had a driver's license. That was when the rules were all different. But the borders were still borders. You know, a lot of Americans went to Canada to avoid the draft. They were what we call draft dodgers. And they still live in Canada. It's interesting because there's this one town which is in Canada which you can't get to except by helicopter. And it's in BC or somewhere out there. It's on the, and I think it may be on the border with the US. Anyway, and they come in on these helicopters. The FBI will come in every few months. And they'll come in and look for they have a whole long list of people they're looking for. And they never find them. Because I guess these guys, they slip out the back, Jack. They get into the woods behind there and they can't be found. And then they go away. And I think those might be draft dodgers. There are other places where there were draft dodgers. I think when I was on the railroad, no, I was riding. The conductor or somebody said that they often stopped for anybody that was standing outside by the track because it was all wilderness up there. We're talking about northern BC. And so the train, it was a Via Rail. It was a passenger train, and so if you needed to go somewhere, you'd just go out and wait for the train. And so he said that there was a lot of draft dodgers up there, and that's how they got around. It's interesting because when I was growing up, you heard about them leaving, but you didn't really know exactly where they went. I mean, Canada is Canada. Big place, the whole thing is unknown, but to be in Canada and actually find out where they were. Is that my hairy woodpecker? Where are you, Harry? There's a lot of birds in that tree. The chickadees. I'm looking at my shirt hanging on the line. It's not getting wet, but it's wet already from it raining this afternoon. Or maybe it rained a couple times since it's been out there. Yeah, I think it rained last night and then again today. And that's all my beautiful flower colors. It's all run. There's brown and there's dark green, and they're kind of in big patches or lines or something. Oops. I'm losing these elderberries. See, now all of those green ones do float, as long as they don't have stems attached. Yeah, but those had stems attached. I think I'm going to forego that for now. You'd think the stems would let them come away when they're ripe. You know, you'd think that the stems wouldn't want to hold on. Aren't they ripe enough? But even the great big ones, they pull the stems off. I think if they're really, really ripe, then they'll just roll off. And if they're really, really, really ripe, then they will have fruit fly eggs in them. And then when I try and make this stuff, I'll just get fruit flies. You put it in jars, and then you let it ferment, let it get some air, or take the lid off and stir it every once in a while. because the honey is going to go to the bottom, and then the berries, and then the vinegar. And after a while, it starts to turn around. Those are not its locations anymore. How does it go? The honey goes to, or the liquid goes to the bottom, and everything is floating. I guess the berries all go to the top. So you have to stir it every now and then it ferments. And that's okay, but if it ferments too much, I think it might start to be wine. I'm not really sure, but I don't want it to ferment that much. I don't like it fizzy or wine. I don't want wine. But I just like the sweet juice. And it's going to have a bit of a zing to a zap to it, or something. Like it will have fermented, so it will have that. I don't know what the word is. Fermented? What's the word for that? Boy, you're really talking a lot. Why? Are you telling other people about where you found? I think you're just very happy, aren't you? If you're happy and you know it, squawk your song. If you're happy and you know it, squawk your song. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, squawk your song. And so he did. If you're happy and you know it, take a bite. If you're happy and you know it, take a bite. See, he doesn't, this is just sunflower seeds that are, I can't really show it to you, sorry. These are sunflower seeds that are shelled, and they've got those moths in them. So the moths before the moths are worms, right? It's the larvae and gives these little worms, and so the birds are just having a heyday eating all these little worms and not having to shuck the sunflower seeds. Bonus, what could be better? Did you hear the rain? I hear the rain a-comin'. Hey, Willem! Oh, he's got his hearing his headphones on. So, fix the hole yet. So it's raining, which means it's coming in. Oh, hello. In the other video, you said that some of the berries were still green. Just add a bit of what? Hey, hold on. Bit of natural pectin to the mix. Oh, interesting. Interesting. What? And somebody else said something. Hi, Sophia. And Jamie, are you still in Canada? Yes, I am. I live in Canada. Been here since 1976. I lived through 2 Trudeaus. So I want your opinion. I'm going to write this article. I told you about that a little while ago. Keep saying that it's empty, or not empty, the low battery. I just have to keep my eye on you. I just won't be able to just look over here and assume you're there. But it will die. And then I'll have to plug it in, and so it'll probably take an hour or so before it's plugged in. And by then I might have stopped doing this and be doing something else, and not feel like, maybe I'm not even dies. That's the end. Until then, hi. Thank you for keeping me company while I do this. I don't feel productive when I'm all by myself, and and there's no sound. I really wouldn't sit down too much to do things like this. But if you're here, I do sit. Of course, I probably shouldn't be sitting much. Nice to have rain. I wonder if Desmond's mad at me because I went back to the camp. Because I didn't babysit him all summer. He thought I was going to babysit him the whole summer. And then I just disappeared. I wonder if that's why he's mad at me. Maybe. Or did he care? Was it just as fine that he was with Opa and his sweet? And Mommy. And Auntie Cass. With all these folks. Just enough to break the berries off these stems. It will break all but one off of the stem. See, look at this. There's a whole pile of them. Oh, 3. But it won't break them off the whole stem. Oh, no, here's one more. Wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. Wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. You can't create anything at all without making a mess. You can't create anything at all without making mess. My mind is a factory, not a warehouse. My mind is a factory, and not a warehouse. There's nothing better than idea. There's nothing better than a new idea. Oh, wisdom is consolation prize for messing up. Wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. Oh, you can't create anything at all without making a mess. You can't create anything at all without making a mess. Oh, wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. Wisdom is the consolation prize for messing up. Oh, you can't create nothing better than a idea. Wisdom is the consolation prize for amassing on. What did you say to do about the stems? Oh, pectin. I'm going to make elderberry oxymel. Equal parts honey, apple cider vinegar, and elderberry, honey, and apple cider vinegar. Love into the rain. Sure is beautiful, isn't it? I used to listen to the rain at the camp. I liked that. Just letting up. What a wonderful sound. Such a magical sound. It's letting up. It was so loud in our ears for such a while. But now as it's changing, it's like listening to a symphony, isn't it?